I'm Caroline. We're starting our Better Balance at Home. It's a 21-day program. You start it whenever you want. The very first page talks about safety, creating your safe space. So I've created a safe space here to show you what that looks. You want a table or a counter in front. If you have a walker, you could put your walker here if that makes you feel safe, and a chair on either side. If this setup doesn't work in your apartment, you can have 2 chairs and put yourself in a corner so that the chairs are on either side of you. Make sure that before you start your balance program that you're in your safe space. You don't want to wish you had been in a safe space. Very important to stay safe when you're doing balance exercises at home. Now, these balance exercises are not traditional, but they are dynamic, original, and effective if you keep doing them. That's the key, of course, to any change, is that you stay disciplined and committed. You need to assume that you will experience an unexpected loss of control, an unexpected loss of balance. That is part of the training. That's normal. That should happen. Because if you're not challenging your balance, then you're not working on your balance. If you're holding on every single time you do an exercise, you change the exercise. It's no longer a balance exercise because you're not balancing. Page 2 is a helpful stance chart. We're going to go over the stances and the schedule. Hold your stance chart and then go to first page of the schedule section. Every day, you will do the warm-up activities. Every day, you will do 2 minutes of balance, 1.5 minutes of strength exercises, 2 minutes of tennis ball exercises, and 3 minutes of stretching and core. So your warm-up and your stretching are going to be the same every day. The balance, the strength, and the tennis ball, they will change every day. You have all the exercises, and you have all the schedule. The balance exercises, both the balance and tennis ball, they're both progressive. This program is designed to give you 10-minute balance workout a day. If you want that to be longer, you can double the balance and or the tennis ball exercise. Let's get into the exercises. The stance chart is your warm-up exercises, the helpful stance chart. So we're going to go over the stances first. So A on the chart is narrow. That means that your feet are touching, your knees are maybe touching, my legs are touching, and you're standing up straight. So this is the narrow stance. Normal is when your feet are hip or shoulder width the same, all the way down. So this is normal. There's a space, maybe a 6-inch space between my feet. Semi-tandem is when you put your toes of one foot into the instep of the other. So it looks like this, or like this. That's semi-tandem. If you cannot do tandem, which is heel touching toe. Now with heel touching toe, tandem, it's easy to have your whole body leaning forward. But we don't want that. We want to stay straight. Your body's centered over your feet. So this is tandem. After tandem is standing on one leg. We only go into standing on one leg at the very last week, and perhaps you don't even get there. You have to go on your comfort level and your ability level. So these exercises some are going to be very challenging for some people, and at the beginning it may be not challenging enough for other people, and I will tell you how you can make them more challenging. We're going to start with the strength exercises. Back leg lifts. Back leg lifts, you want to be in your safe space. I'm just going to move a chair here. It's a straight leg lift back. Put your foot down and up. So you want to make sure your upper body's tall so that you feel it at the top of your rear end. Right here is where you want to feel it. So there's a couple ways you can do it. 15 seconds one leg, 15 seconds on the other. 30 seconds alternating. Or you can bump it up 30 seconds and 30 seconds. It's your workout, up to you. Seated leg extensions, 30 seconds total. Recommend is an alternating extension. Extension simply means straighten. So you're straightening your leg. The other option, 15 seconds left, 15 seconds right. If you want to bump it up, 30 seconds left, 30 seconds right, up to you. Toe scrunches. You're scrunching your toes up. And if you want to put a towel under your foot to grab at something, you can. You're going to do both at the same time. And you can practice these with me right now. Just pull your toes up toward the sole of your foot. And these, because we are not really used to strengthening our toes, feel a little toe fatigue at the end of 30 seconds. Heel raises. We're going to come up on our toes, hold, and down. Up and down. So we're not holding the whole time. 30 seconds of coming up, hold a few seconds, and back down. Mini squats or sit to stand, or I'm going to throw in there a squat. A mini squat, you can hold onto your chair, and you're just going down a little bit. Just a little bit. A sit to stand, just what it sounds like, is you're going to sit down, stand up. Sit down, stand up for 30 seconds. If you'd rather do a squat, you're just going to go into your squat and up. Squat and up. The last strength is side leg lift. Since it is 30 seconds each, there's a couple ways. 15 seconds, one side. 15 seconds, the other side. Or you can alternate like a pendulum. If you'd rather do 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. If you'd rather do 30 seconds on each side. Those are your strength exercises. Your stretching and your core exercises. We're going to go over these and then the warm-up, and then we'll get into the balance. Hamstring stretch. If you want to do a hamstring stretch standing, you'd put one foot in front. You're going to raise that toe up and sink down into it. You can lean for your toe. You want to feel this on the back of your calf and into your hamstring behind your thigh. You want to do it seated. Scoot forward, plant that heel, and you're going to lean forward. The calf stretch. I don't have a wall handy, so I'll use the back of this chair. A wall or a step. You're going to put your foot at an angle on the wall. Your toes up, your heel on the floor, and then you're just going to lean your body into the stretch. So that's your calf stretch. Your neck stretch is simply moving your neck, looking at the ceiling, looking down. You can do this seated or standing to increase the strength of the stretch. You can place your hands behind you. Just put them on your rear, down, and up. Now you want to make sure, keep your upper body tall, just looking up and down. Hold a couple seconds, each position. Got the lumbar stretch. I really like the lumbar stretch. You're going to put your hands on the table, take a few steps back, let your hands stretch out until your back is in a nice tabletop position. So to make sure you're not rounding, you need to push your rear end away from your hand. This gets your lower back. You're also feeling it in your legs, so it's a lovely stretch. Upper back stretch. We're going to clasp our hands together, put our hands behind our head, elbows wide. You're going to push your elbows back, release. Push it back, release. This is an upper back stretch, and it's also an upper chest stretch. Now, the last one is a core exercise. Research is showing that your core muscles are almost as important as the strength of your leg muscles when it comes to balance. If you have a weak core, you are not going to have good balance no matter how strong your legs are. So we need to work on our core. There's only one exercise in this program, and it's called drawing in. You're pulling your belly button up and in. So in toward your spine. Pull it up and in, hold for for 10 seconds. And then you'd release. Do that again. 3 10-second holds. Now make sure you're not holding your breath. If you want to take that longer or do that more often during the day, it would only benefit. The warm-up exercises are simple. You can do the warm-up seated or standing. You're going to march in place. 30 seconds. 30 seconds ankle looseners. You're going to put your toe, heel up, and then put your heel in that same position where the toe was. Toe, heel, toe, heel. So the trick is to make sure you're not putting your toe way out here and your heel back here. They go in as close to the same position as you can get. If you're standing, you do one leg and then the other. You could do 15 seconds, 15 seconds. You could do it seated, do them both at the same time for 30 seconds. Spine twists, just simply are side to side, side to side, side. And that's your warm-up. The balance exercises, if you follow the schedule, they're different every day. 4 balance exercises a day for 30 seconds. Make sure you have your stance chart, the handy, the helpful stance chart, and the balance exercises. All the balance exercises are 30 seconds. We start with standing. Standing in a normal stance, hands at your side, and the key here is to not sway. So you want to think about pushing your whole foot into the floor. And what do I mean by sway? Sway is when you're coming backward, forward, side. We don't want sway. Try to be sway-free. Now these will progress, and there's some variations. You're going to have standing narrow. 30 seconds, feet together. And then we'll go to tandem. You can always choose semi-tandem instead of tandem. The last week, I think there's a few that we go to one leg, only if you're comfortable, in your safe space. Now, the other variations with the standing are the head moving. So you might be standing and turning your head left to right. You might be standing narrow, head up and down. You might be standing tandem. Now, when you do tandem, get your footing first. Get stable, and then add the head. It's not as easy as it looks. Make sure you stay in your safe space. There's also standing and reaching. Standing normal, reaching forward. Try to do both arms. Another way you can do this is have something on the table. You reach for it, pick it up, put it back. Pick it up, put it back. Now, if 2 hands are too hard, and I know it's tricky, you can do one hand and the other hand. Okay. There's also a head turn and reach. So your head will turn, you reach in that direction. Back to center, turn your head, reach. Now remember, we're reaching. We're not just putting our arm behind us. We can do that all day long. Turn your head, reach. Think about sitting in the front seat of your car and you want to get something off the back seat. How hard will you reach to get that? Turn your head, reach. Tandem, my left foot is forward. I'm going to turn and reach left. And left. Standing and reaching, head turning. Weight shifting, side to side. Also, front to back. You can weight shift or you can take your feet off the floor. Weight shifting is just shifting. You can also get to where you take a couple seconds on each side. So they'll be side to side, they'll be front to back. Stepping or walking, we're going to do some lateral or side stepping. Sure that when you do your side stepping, you're not just turning to the side and walking. You're taking steps. Now on the paper I have 10 steps. You want to go at least 3 or 4, depending on how much you have room for, but not 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do that for 30 seconds. If you only have room for 5, do 5. Tandem stepping is heel to toe. Now it's very important that you keep your head up, heel to toe. A good place to do this, and I'm not joking, is in the hallway next to the railing. That's tandem walking. Tapping cone. If you don't have a cone, which I don't know a lot of people that have a cone, this is a can of tomatoes. Not looking down, you can have your chair in front if you need it. I'm going to move it so you can see. You're going to tap your foot alternating sides. Tap, 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 tap. To make this more challenging, you can use a plastic cup. Because you don't want to destroy the cup, your touch is even lighter. Tap, 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 tap. If the tapping to the one cone is too uncomfortable, too much of a challenge, because when you're tapping, you're balancing. You can do tap, each foot has their own cup. Okay. You can use a stack of books, you can use a pillow, you can use any object that is, 4 or 5 inches tall. Toes to heels, toes to heels, toes to heels. Okay, that's the balance section. Now we're going to go through the tennis balls. We're going to go through them very quickly. Make sure, if you need it, your safe space close by. The first one is standing and tossing. So you're going to toss the ball from hand to hand. Now in the beginning, you're going to watch the ball, but you want to get to the point where you don't watch the ball, and then you'll have same side tossing, and the other side. This is in a normal stance. Narrow stance. Toss side to side, one side toss, other side. Semi-tandem and or tandem. Toss. Toss. Stand and bounce. Normal stance. We're going to bounce and catch. So standing and bouncing. Then you're bouncing with one hand, catching with one hand. Same with the other side. Variations, you're going to change your stance. Narrow. One hand. Semi-tandem or tandem. Bouncing. Bouncing and catching with one hand. Walk in place. Tossing. Now the stance does not change during this. You're just tossing and then tossing one hand, the other side. So if the instruction are to toss first with one hand and then the other, you do 30 seconds with one hand, 30 seconds with the other hand to make the minute. Marching, bouncing. Bouncing with one hand and marching. Bouncing with the other hand. Walking. So you're going to walk, normal steps, walk and toss. Now here it's important that you've gotten this tossing down so that you see the ball, but you're not watching the ball while you're walking. Okay? So you're getting in some multitask behaviors, which is excellent for balance. So then you're going to walk and catch with one hand. And then the other. Bounce and walk. I thought that might happen. So bouncing and walking. And then going to be bouncing one hand. Bouncing the other hand. Those are the tennis ball exercises. When you start out, if they feel too challenging, decrease the amount of time. 30 seconds feels too hard to do something, go for 20 seconds. Go for 15 seconds. 30 seconds feels too easy, go for a minute. Go for 2 minutes. If standing narrow for 30 seconds is too easy, try it for a minute without sway. Try it for a minute and a half. That will make it more challenging just by increasing the amount of time. Same for the tennis ball exercises. If you start out and you feel like the stand and toss is too easy, you can go to marching and toss, or you can go right to narrow or tandem tossing. Change it up. Find the combination that works for you. Be safe. That's the main thing. When you finish the 21 days, you can repeat it, or you can find the exercises that you felt like were the most challenging or the ones that you feel like you haven't mastered. Put those together in your own program and go forward with those.